Everyone to the regular scheduled meeting of the President and Board of Trustees of Village of Tinley Park, Cook and Will County, being held on Tuesday, September 3rd, 2024, beginning at 6:06 p.m. Everyone please stand for a pledge of allegiance.
United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Trustee Brady?
Here.
Trustee Brennan?
Present.
Trustee Mahoney is absent. Trustee Mueller?
Here.
Trustee Shaw?
Present.
Trustee Sullivan? Here. President Klotz?
Present. Thank you. Before we start, welcome to familiar faces, DC Rafferty, or retired DC Rafferty, and Sergeant Ricadus, so thank you for coming. Item number one, like to ask the board for a motion to consider approval of the agenda.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Is there any questions? No. And, Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Roll call for item one. Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you, everyone. Next, we have item number two. Can I have a motion to consider the approval of the minutes of the regular village board meeting held on August 20th, 2024?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Are there any questions? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Roll call for item two. Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
That motion carries. Thank you, everyone. Next, we have item number three. Can I have a motion to consider proclaiming September 2024 Childhood and Adolescent Cancer Awareness Month in the Village of Tinley Park?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Thank you, everyone. I'll read the proclamation. We would like to recognize September 2024 as Childhood and Adolescent Cancer Awareness Month in the Village of Tinley Park. Whereas childhood cancer is the leading cause of death by disease in children, and whereas 1 in 263 children in the United States will be diagnosed by their 20th birthday. Gosh, that's sad. 46 children per day, or 16,790 children per year, are diagnosed with cancer in the United States. The average age of diagnosis is 6 years old compared to 66 years old for adults' cancer diagnosis. 80% of the childhood cancer patients are diagnosed late and with metastatic disease. Whereas on average, there's been 0.6% increase in incidence per year since the mid-1970s, resulting in an overall incidence increase of 24% over the last 40 years. And whereas 99% of childhood cancer survivors have chronic health problems and 96% have experienced a life-threatening condition, in the last 20 years, only 4 new drugs have been approved by the FDA to specifically treat childhood cancer. And whereas approximately 1/2 of childhood cancer families rate the associated financial toxicity due to out-of-pocket expenses as considerable to severe. And whereas the National Cancer Institute recognizes the unique research needs of childhood cancer and the associated need for increased funding to carry this out. Whereas hundreds of nonprofit organizations at local and national level, including the American Childhood Cancer Organization and St. Baldrick's, the leading charitable funder of childhood cancer research grants, are helping children with cancer and their families cope through educational, emotional, and financial support. And whereas researchers and healthcare professionals work diligently, dedicating their expertise to treat and cure children with cancer. And whereas too many children are affected by this deadly disease, and more must be done to raise awareness and find a cure. Now therefore be it resolved by the President and Board of Trustees of the Village of Tinley Park, Cook and Will County, Illinois, that September 2024 be designated as Childhood and Adolescent Cancer Awareness Month in the Village of Tinley Park. We encourage all Americans to observe Childhood Cancer Awareness Month and support this cause that so deeply impacts families in every community across our country. Approved this third day of September 2024, signed by myself, Village President Michael W. Glotz, Village Clerk Nancy M. O'Connor, and Trustees William P. Brady, Dennis Mahoney, Kenneth Shaw, William Brennan, Michael Mueller, and Colleen Sullivan. You guys like to come up for this? You guys want to come up? You guys bring this in.
Give it enough, Billy? Ken's going good on one side.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming in.
Hi, my name is Jeff Janes. This is my wife, Leslie. And we thank all of you, Mayor Glotz and the entire City Council, for taking this step in recognizing September as Pediatric Cancer Awareness Month in the Village of Tinley Park. It's so important. Even I thought that proclamation was a little long, so I can imagine those of you that have not been affected by kids' cancer maybe thought so too, but it is true. Cancer is the #1 killer of kids by disease in the United States. And I could talk forever about statistics, but only 4 new drugs have been approved by the FDA for pediatric cancer treatments. Just 4. And to us, that's absolutely crazy. And we believe that has to do with awareness, that people just don't think that kids get cancer, but they do. Well, and it was our daughter Julia, as a sophomore at Oak Forest High School, was diagnosed with bone cancer, Ewing sarcoma. The treatments for that were absolutely 100% brutal from World War II, mind you, World War II. And she survived. As a sophomore in college, she got leukemia because of those treatments. And that's why we're standing here today, because she said, Mom, Dad, do something so that no other kid has to go through what I've gone through. She was an amazing individual. Even on her deathbed, she was thinking of others. So we have raised over $800,000 and funded 8 pediatric cancer research trials since 2018 when we joined St. Baldrick's. We're working on our 9th right now, and with the help of Tinley Park, look all around Oak Park Avenue businesses. They've got flowers with QR codes. Scan the QR code and donate. I'm not too proud to say we need money to do this and donate, and you could even win the flower arrangement at the end of the month. You have anything you want to say?
Again, we want to thank you very much for supporting us, and we appreciate all of you so very much. You're making a difference, a great difference. We say thank you for helping us shine a bright light on childhood cancer research. It's very much needed. Thank you.
Do you have your next event set up? Do you want to mention that?
Yes, go right ahead.
So,
Oh, switch.
So our next St. Baldrick shaving event is September 21st at Clover's Bar and Grill, just over the border in Oak Forest. That was put together by Julie's brother, Michael. We invite all of you to come out, shave your head. Ladies, don't you think I'm not thinking of you? Because how much money, it'll grow back. It really, unlike mine, it'll grow back. Don't worry about it. And how much money do women earn for St. Baldrick's compared to men? I don't know that statistic, but it's huge when you shave. I had a student do that. I'm a retired teacher from Andrew High School. The day before prom, she shaved her head. So if she can do that,
And how about? Don't even look at me. How about the farmer's market?
we are on, right there at Zabraki Plaza. The 14th of this month, we'll be at the farmers market spreading positivity because that's what Julia was all about. We're here tonight. Thank you so much, everybody, for all you're doing.
Everything that we did today.
We were passing out flowers all over town.
Yellow flowers.
Florists donated the flowers. Businesses graciously said, yes, we'll display those flowers by our cash register or wherever it's appropriate. I could go through the list, but we're not done. All week we'll be spreading flowers all over Tinley Park.
And we have flyers. Flyers are available, and we'd be happy to share them with you. Thank you.
Check Julia's Legacy out on Facebook.
Oh, that's good.
Thank you so much.
Good luck to you.
Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Roll call for item 3, trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
That motion carries. Thank you, everyone. Next, we have item number 4, trustee Sullivan.
Yes. Consider proclaiming September 2024 Ovarian Cancer Awareness Month in the Village of Tinley Park. Motion?
So moved. Second the motion. Ken's got me.
Consider proclaiming September 2024 as Ovarian Cancer Awareness Month in the Village of Tinley Park. Recognizing September 24th as Ovarian Cancer Awareness Month in the Village of Tinley Park. Whereas ovarian cancer is the 5th leading cause of cancer deaths of women in the United States and causes more deaths than any other gynecologic cancer. And whereas a woman's lifetime risk of being diagnosed with ovarian cancer is about 1 in 78. And whereas American Cancer Society estimates 19,680 cases of ovarian cancer will be newly diagnosed in 2024, and 12,740 individuals will die from this disease nationwide. And whereas the 5-year survival rate for ovarian cancer is 50%, and survival rates vary greatly depending on the stage of diagnosis. And whereas this is not currently effective diagnostic tool for screening and early detection does not exist. And whereas while the mammogram can detect breast cancer and the pap smear can detect cervical cancer, there is no reliable early detection test for ovarian cancer. And whereas in June 2007, the first national consensus statement on ovarian cancer symptoms was developed to provide consistency in describing symptoms to make it easier for women to learn and remember those symptoms. And whereas Black women with ovarian cancer are more likely to have late-stage diagnosis, receive lower quality clinical services, and have lower 5-year survival rates than non-Black women. And whereas women of color, low-income women, and women living in rural areas have more barriers to accessing standard quality care and are more likely to receive care at a facility that has poor adherence to National Comprehensive Cancer Network treatment guidelines. And whereas too many people remain unaware that the symptoms of ovarian cancer often include bloating, pelvic and abdominal pain, difficulty eating or feeling full quickly, urinary symptoms, and several other vague symptoms that are often easily confused with other diseases. And whereas improved awareness of the symptoms of ovarian cancer by the public and healthcare providers can lead to a quicker diagnosis. And whereas the lack of an early detection test for ovarian cancer combined with its vague symptoms that approximately 80% of cases of ovarian cancer are detected at an advanced stage. And whereas persistent issues collecting and reporting data related to ovarian cancer risk, treatment, and outcomes are particularly pronounced and impede the development of effective policy. And whereas all women are at risk for ovarian cancer, but approximately 20% of women who are diagnosed with ovarian cancer have a hereditary predisposition to ovarian cancer, which places them at even higher risk. And whereas scientists and physicians have uncovered changes in the BRCA genes that some women inherit from their parents, which may make those women 30 times more likely to develop ovarian cancer. And whereas the family history of a woman has been found to play an important role in accurately assessing the risk of developing ovarian cancer, and medical experts believe that family history should be taken into consideration during the annual Well Women visit of any woman. And whereas women who know that they are at high risk of ovarian cancer may undertake prophylactic measures such as opportunistic cell pogectomy to help reduce the risk developing the disease. And whereas guidelines issued by the National Comprehensive Cancer Network and Society of Gynecological Oncology recommend that all individuals diagnosed with ovarian cancer receive genetic counseling and genetic testing regardless of their family history. And whereas studies consistently show that compliance with these guidelines is alarmingly low, with recently published National Cancer Institute-funded research finding that in 2013 and 2014, only 1/3 of ovarian cancer survivors have undergone such testing. And whereas, according to 2016 consensus report by the National Academy of Medicine, there remain surprising gaps in the fundamental knowledge about the understanding of ovarian cancer across all aspects of the disease. And whereas ongoing investments in ovarian cancer research and education and awareness efforts are critical to closing these gaps and improving survivorship for women with ovarian cancer. And whereas each year during this month of September, Ovarian Cancer Research Alliance and community partner organizations hold a number of events to increase public awareness of ovarian cancer and its symptoms. And now, therefore, be it resolved by the President and Board of Trustees of the Village of Tinley Park, Cook and Will Counties, Illinois, that September 24th be designated as Ovarian Cancer Awareness Month to increase public awareness of ovarian cancer in the Village of Tinley Park. Approved this third day of September 2024, signed by Mayor Michael Glatz, Clerk Nancy O'Connor, Trustees Bill Brady, Dennis Mahoney, Ken Shaw, Bill Brennan, Mike Mueller, and myself, Colleen Sullivan.
Thank you, Colleen. Could have used a couple more whereases.
Long but very important.
Madam Clerk, you please call the roll.
Roll call for item 4, Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
That motion carries. Need a water? Next, we have item number 5, receive presentation of the Tinley Park Business Spotlight, Siam Marina, and the Tinley Park Chamber of Commerce by President Glatz and Clerk O'Connor. Clerk, would you like to go first?
Siam Marina, located at 16846 Oak Park Avenue in downtown Tinley, features an Asian fusion cuisine showcasing traditional Thai, Vietnamese, and French cuisine with an upscale twist and a heavy focus on fresh seafood. They offer live jazz music every first and third Friday of the month, martini tastings, and more. Please join me in welcoming Julia Volkman and Chef Tammy Pham of Siam Marina.
Yes. Good evening. Thank you for inviting me tonight. And I am Chef Tammy Pham and the owner and executive chef of Siam Marina in Tinley Park, Illinois. And again, and I'm a chef and owner as well at Asparagus Restaurant in Maryville, Indiana. This year we celebrate 30 years anniversary since I just first opened a business in Calumet City since 1994. And my passion is create Vietnamese and Thai food and French influences with martini cocktail. And today I brought some sweet and sour sauce outside. So please take, it's created by me, so take home. Welcome to take home. And we, again, the end of this month, right? We have a special martini event on September 25th. Please to come, save your date, and come to visit us at Tinley Park.
We're calling it a throwback tasting, where we're bringing back some of Tammy's first martini inventions, as well as a few of her specials, including perhaps the Oak Park Avenue martini, which she created when she came to the village. So, and also there is going to be some food passed out later at the appropriate time. So I hear there's an executive session and some noshing required. So we hope to get to see any and all of you who can make it up the street, and thank you for giving us the opportunity.
Thank you.
Thanks. And we'll have flyers for you.
Next, I have the honor of introducing co-president and probably the best smile in Tinley Park, Teresa Nolan. The Tinley Park Chamber of Commerce, located at 17316 Oak Park Avenue, is committed to bringing innovative information and opportunities to business and community through membership meetings, professional and development, and networking, and their signature events. The village is pleased to welcome Teresa Nolan from the Tinley Park Chamber of Commerce.
Hi, everybody.
Welcome.
Familiar faces here, and a wonderfully familiar face over here as well. Yes, Oktoberfest is coming, and on behalf of myself and co-president Brandy Caffarelli and executive director Tom McNulty, we're bringing back the community event that's happened for decades. And I still remember going when I was a little girl over on Hickory Street. So this year's Oktoberfest, I have my cheat sheet here because there's a lot of information to give you guys. On Friday, September 20th, Saturday, September 21st, and Sunday, September 22nd. Different food vendors that are going to be highlighted are Chef Klaus, Winston's Market, Durbin's Express, Tone Capone's Taco Truck, Ben's Pretzels, Nothing But Cakes, The Scoop, and Kona Ice. And sometimes people ask, well, that doesn't sound very German to me. But all of these different vendors will have something with a German flair or German twist to it. May I suggest the German egg rolls? Mike knows I'm always the first one in line when I go there to get those every year. Beer vendors include Banging Gavel, Sound Growler, Nick and Ivy, Brothership, Hailstorm, Hockershore, and Polliner. And we'll also have a domestic option as well for those of you that like something a little bit more domestic, including soda, wine, pop, water, and seltzers. But for the bands, our lineup back in by popular demand, the Schnitzels and the Bratwurst Brothers will be playing on Friday, which is rather apropos. Saturday, Paul and the Bavarians, along with Billy's Boys and the Blues Brothers that I know have played here with Music in the Plaza. And on Sunday, we have Squeezebox Heroes and Andrew Denlinger. So we're excited. I've already been bartering with Mother Nature to have a nice 3 days of, some sun and some fun. But I would be remiss in saying that, the Chamber of Commerce is an organization. We have one full-time employee and two part-time employees. And to run an event of this magnitude takes a whole lot of people to do that, and a lot of you are seated right here today. So a big thank you from the Chamber to the village, to our police and fire, to our public works, everybody who has a hand in helping us get this off the ground. It really is an amazing event. Love to see everybody there, and personally invite everybody that's seated here tonight to come on out and have some fun. Just a couple weekends away. Let's hope for some sunshine.
Thanks, Teresa.
You bet.
Thank you.
Next, we have item number 6. I'd like to ask the board for a motion to consider appointing Greg Trainer as commissioner and Speedy Gonzalez as associate member representing the Marine Corps League to the Veterans Commission for fiscal year 2025.
So moved.
I will second that.
Thank you. Like I said, for the Veterans Commission, 25 appointments, like to appoint Greg and Speedy. Are there any questions?
Just like to welcome them to the Veterans Commission. I've met Greg Trainer. He's gone to a few meetings already. Met him a few months back, started by meeting his wife, then she put Greg and I together about the Veterans Commission. Came out to some meetings, he was interested, and they welcomed him to join the commission. So, great guy, and he's already been helping out with things, so he's
Great.
a perfect fit. And I have not met Speedy Gonzalez yet, that I know of.
I was gonna ask if either of them are here tonight.
Are they here?
I know Greg's not, I don't see Greg.
Okay.
I don't know who Speedy is.
You get to meet him at the next meeting.
September 11th.
Okay. If that's it, Madam Clerk, can you please call the roll?
Roll call for item 6, trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
That motion carries. Thank you, everyone. Next, we have the item number 7 that the front row was awaiting on. I'd like to ask for a motion to consider recognizing the promotion of Detective Frederick Mont to Police Sergeant.
So moved.
I'll second.
Thank you. Detective Mont has been a full-time Tinley Park police officer for 13 years. During his career, he has held various roles, including patrol officer, field training officer. Currently, he's serving as the detective in the Investigations Division and is a member of the Will Grundy Major Crimes Task Force. He obtained his bachelor's degree in law enforcement and justice administration from Western Illinois. Are there any questions or comments from the board? No? Would anyone from the public like to make a comment on item number 7? Nope. So it's up to you, Sergeant Mont. Would you like to wait until after the swearing in, and then you can take pictures with all the family and stuff? Okay. Madam Clerk, you please call the roll.
Roll call for item 7, trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
That motion carries. Congratulations, you're halfway there. Next, we have item number 8, trustee Bill Brennan.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to make a motion to ask the clerk to conduct a swearing-in ceremony for Police Sergeant Frederick Mont.
I'll make the motion.
I will second.
Second.
Oh, he made the motion.
He made the motion, I made the second.
Okay, thank you.
Throwing us off, Bill.
I state your name,
I, Frederick Mont,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
the ordinances of the Village of Tinley Park,
the ordinances of the Village of Tinley Park,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of Police Sergeant
the duties of Police Sergeant
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability.
so help me God.
Help me God. I'd like to take the opportunity to say thank you to the mayor and the village board and the chief for offering me this opportunity. And I want to thank the current and retired members of the Tinley Park Police Department for their friendship and all the support I've received over the past 13 years. I want to thank my wife Lauren, my daughters Millie and Gwendolyn, my parents Fred and Mary for their love and support, and I'm looking forward to continuing to serve the citizens of Tinley Park for the future.
Citizen Officer King.
I knew you were gonna say. Go ahead, go ahead.
They've been so patient.
Hey, I like your ball. I got a couple. Can I get it? Gotta hold on his phone?
That's a bad idea.
He knows you, it's on your shirt. He's a detective, he looks at your shirt. Madam Clerk, you call the roll?
Roll call for item 8, trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
Motion carries, it's official.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Enjoy your donuts.
Next, we have item number 9. I'd like to ask the board to consider appointing Colleen Fabizak to the position of lead 911 dispatcher.
I'll make that motion.
I will second.
Thank you. Colleen joined the 911 Dispatch Center in 2015. She continues to excel as a 911 dispatcher and most recently became a trainer for the Dispatch Center and also achieved TERT, Telecommunicator Emergency Response Task Force dispatcher certification. Colleen is an excellent partner and team player at all times. She motivates her partners to be better and brings a positive, fun atmosphere to the room, which helps build morale in an environment that can be consistently negative due to our line of work. Colleen is a great dispatcher and asset to the team and the Village of Tinley Park. She is recommended for promotion to the position of lead 911 dispatcher. Again, I'd like to ask the board to consider appointing Colleen to the position of lead 911 dispatcher effective September 4th, 2024. Colleen could not be here tonight. She is working as a dispatcher. So tomorrow she'll have a different role. So anywho, thank you. And was there any comments? I know we don't have Lisa Cordum here to ask her questions, but
Jen's here.
I know, but we really would like to give them to Lisa. Anyone like to comment on the appointment of Colleen?
Congratulations,
Congratulations.
if she's watching.
She's deserve it.
Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Roll call for item 9, trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
That motion carries. Thank you, everyone. Congratulations, Colleen. Next, we have item 10, and she is present. I'd like to ask for a motion to consider appointing Katie Carney to the position of 911 dispatcher.
So moved.
I will second.
Thank you. Katie has 3 years of office-related experience and 9 years of customer service experience working in fast-paced environments. Her prior experiences have prepared her for multitask and prioritize in high-pressure work environments I'd like to ask the board to please consider appointing Katie to the position of 911 dispatcher effective September 16th, 2024. Katie, would you like to say anything?
Thank you for the opportunity, this career opportunity. I look forward to working with the Village of Tinley Park.
You're
Awesome.
welcome.
Welcome.
Congrats.
Welcome.
Any questions for Katie? Nope. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll for item 10?
Roll call for item 10, trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
That motion carries. Congratulations. They must have planned this perfectly because Matthew is not here. He's working as well. Item 11, can I have a motion to consider appointing Matthew McBean to the position of 911 dispatcher?
I'll make the motion.
Second?
Thank you. Matthew has 3 years of experience working in the pharmacy industry and at a blood bank. While attending college, he worked at his university providing customer service for students and faculty for 4 years. Matthew holds a Bachelor of Science from Western Illinois University and eager to begin his career in public safety. Again, I'd like to ask the board to consider appointing Matthew to the position of 911 dispatcher effective September 16th, 2024. Are there any comments from the board? Nope. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Roll call for item 11, trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
That motion carries. Thank you. Now we have item 12. Helena is present. Please, I'd like to ask the board for a motion to consider appointing Helena Jackham to the position of custodian. Helena has 3 years, or can I have a motion?
So moved.
I'll second it.
Second.
Helena has 3 years of cleaning and sanitizing experience, primarily in residential and office spaces. She has also worked in other roles, providing a high level of customer service for over 19 years. Please consider appointing Helena to the position of custodian effective September 4th, 2024.
Tomorrow.
Would you like to make, would you mind standing? Thank you.
Hello everyone. My name is Harina Yakim, and I'm so excited and a little bit nervous to start the job, starting tomorrow, and I'll do my best. Thank you for having me here.
Thank you.
It's all
Welcome.
good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you.
Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Roll call for item 12, trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
That motion carries. Thank you, everyone. Next, we have item number 13. I would like to ask the board for a motion and consider approval of the consent agenda items tonight.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Thank you. The consent agenda items have been publicly posted and available for review on the agenda for this meeting. Would anyone from the board care to remove any of the items? Let the record reflect. There are none. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Roll call for item 13, trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
Thank you. That motion carries. Next, we have item number 14, trustee Mueller.
I move we consider ordinance 2024-0-043, granting a variation to permit a fence in a secondary front yard for property located at 6401 180th Place.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Go ahead, Mike.
The requested variation permits a new vinyl fence to encroach into the required secondary front yard. Plan Commission held a public hearing on August 15, 2024, and voted 1-5, recommending denial of this request in accordance with the plans and findings of facts in the staff report. This ordinance is eligible for first reading tonight, so not the final decision.
Thank you. Would anyone like to comment?
Sure.
This man, come on.
So I would just like to comment that I watched the full Plan Commission hearing, read all the reports. This is for first reading, and that's the important part of the process. So as of today, I've read through the report, and to be consistent with my position in similar cases, I'm leaning towards not voting to approve this. However, for this evening, because it is first reading, I will be voting in favor to make sure that it goes through the due process here. And I will continue to research it because I am empathetic to the situation, but I feel that the importance of holding to the standards that have been established are pretty important too. So I'm very empathetic to the situation and will continue to consider it. But for tonight, I'm in favor of moving it forward to pass first reading.
Anyone else? Mr. Mueller?
Yeah, I completely agree with what Trustee Shaw had to say. I especially, what I really dislike about cases like this is when we're coming for a variation after the construction was already completed. I know that there are some extraneous circumstances. I watched the Plan Commission as well and understood that there's some confusion between the fence company and the homeowner, and certainly very empathetic to those situations. But it definitely puts this board in a bit of a strange situation that we don't like to find ourselves in. So agree, I will be voting yes on first read and then continuing to gather information as it stands.
Anyone else care to comment?
I'll just be agreeing with our two other trustees and save some time.
Anyone else? Nope, same.
The same, yeah.
Again, like to echo, Ken and Mike, you said what I was gonna ask, just, it's first reading. Ask you guys to consider supporting this, to pass it through to the next reading. Gives you guys more time. If you have questions, you can contact staff, you can contact the petitioner, which, I don't know, in my opinion necessarily, I don't think the petitioner is the resident. I did a lot of digging on this and my concerns for this whole process, and I think like you and I, Jason, have talked about this, we need to redefine the way this whole process works. So the fence contractor apparently is the one that applied for the permit, correct? And so therefore, the point of contact was the fence company, which is a company that's not even local from up north.
Freeport?
Where? Freeport?
Freeport.
Yes, nowhere near us. And apparently, the contractor then was notified that the permit was denied and they needed revisions. And then one of our staff members noticed that the fence was erected anyway, and then cited the owner. Then afterwards, in May, a variation was submitted for review. Meeting was delayed until August for the Plan Commission public hearing. I don't think I've ever seen anything like this, at least since I can remember, since I've been on the board. This is kind of a tricky situation because as much as I don't like the fact that it was installed improperly, and yes, it's easy to say, well, I didn't know anything about it. You know, the fence contractor was the point of contact, and they told me to just go ahead and install it. We'll ask for a variance, no big deal. I think we need to start making sure that the homeowners are also a part of that process. Even if a contractor comes in and applies for them, the homeowner should be included moving forward on all applications. So when they get a denial or an approval, it immediately goes through at the same time. When an email shot out, it goes to the homeowner and it goes to the contractor. So we don't have the situation where we have a homeowner that's now in front of us that wasn't part of the actual process, other than, I think Christine then filed for the variance, correct? After it was denied and it was installed. The part that's odd for me is the fence wasn't removed. The fence technically wasn't removed. and again, correct me in anything that I'm wrong that I don't remember, I watched a meeting, too, like Mike. They kept the posts and they slid over it, right, and then connected to the post?
Since there wasn't a building permit, we haven't done an inspection, so I can't confirm it. That's what the petitioner said. We haven't had staff out there to look at it. All I can tell you is the old wooden fence is gone and there's a new vinyl fence there.
But the
How it was
posts are-
put up and built, we didn't do an inspection, so I don't know.
Okay.
That is what the petitioner is stating, yes.
Tiff?
Yes.
So usually, first reading, we don't allow any public comment or the petitioner. Do I need to make a motion or just waive it to let them speak? Because I'd really like to ask, since she has the attorney here and the homeowner, get more information on the whole.
I would suggest a motion. If that's the village board's procedure, I would suggest a motion to vary from the village board's
Can I
procedure.
have a motion to allow the petitioner and the representative to answer questions?
So moved. Second?
Madam Clerk, call the roll. Or can we just do an aye?
You can do a voice vote.
Yeah, can everyone voice vote aye?
Aye.
Ayes have it. I'm assuming you'll want to answer some of the questions.
Certainly want to cooperate. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Village Board, for allowing us to speak. I'm John Clavio. I'm Christine's attorney relative to this matter. So we are available for questions, and if you give me 30 seconds, I just wanted to.
Go over.
Very good. One of the standards, obviously, everyone has to deal with variances is uniqueness of a property or hardship. And I don't know if you've had an opportunity to look at the existing survey for this location. It is kind of a unique geometric property in the fact that the parkway by Ridgeland is 20 feet from the sidewalk. So keeping the fence there, even though it's a variance, it still is 30 feet from the actual road. So what happens here is that people actually don't stop at the stop sign at 180 place. They actually crouch up forward because the house is blocking the stop sign, not a fence, that they go past it. I'm happy to share the surveys if you don't have them, but I don't know if that's proper or not, so I don't want to.
Well, I've seen it and I'm very familiar with it, and I don't know if you understand what the right-of-way for Ridgeland is. It's a very wide right-of-way.
Exactly.
So it's not actually a parkway.
Correct.
There. It's not even an easement. It's not.
It's correct.
Not the homeowner's property.
Agreed. She does not own that. I was just pointing that out, that in some situations, there are wider parkways and right-of-ways and stuff like that, so. And other than that, we're available for questions for you.
So, yeah, as far as counting the right-of-way as part of it, I would disagree that creates a hardship. The rules are there for a reason, and now we're stuck with a situation, like Mike said, where now we have the fence there. So I'm more concerned about how the fence was constructed. So did they remove all of the posts and reset new posts in March and then erect the
They did.
fence?
So, from what I understand, what they did was they did cut, there was no new holes dug. There was nothing, like, they didn't dig anything out, they didn't put any concrete in or anything like that. It was just like a rebar, basically, and that just went down, and then that's what the post is over. So, it can move basically with the land when it shifts and stuff like that, because that was part of the problem with the old fence, was it starting to tilt out and shift and change different directions. And so this is, no new holes were dug, no new posts were put in.
No additional new cement was poured or anything like that.
If you're okay with it, I'd like to have our building official, Mike Coleman, go out there and just take a look, confirm. You could write something up, send it to the board before the next meeting.
Yep.
I know it goes beyond the point of just repairing a section, repairing a board, but I don't think I've ever faced the fact that they just went over the old posts. So I'd want to make sure before we vote either way that our building official, we're not making a decision on something that we don't know what's underneath it. So as long as we have it in time, we can have it to next meeting. Otherwise, I would just say schedule it for now. We could always table it to the next meeting, or pull it from the agenda. And just, if we do pull it, if you could just contact them and let them know. So that's kind of my thoughts, everyone, is first, I think we need to have someone take a look exactly how it was installed. They didn't remove any posts, they didn't install, it's not like they went from 10 feet to 0. Yes, even though it's, the ordinance, we went from 25 to 10 feet. And that's the problem we have when you're having older areas, and now hers is gonna abut against a fence that's directly on the sidewalk, right?
That's correct.
And so it will look terrible. It doesn't make it right to do it, but the fact is, they didn't replace any of the posts, so it's not like they moved it one way or another. They came up with I guess, a new
Way.
thought process.
It's a
of doing
hybrid
it,
situation.
Whether it's right or wrong, and I
Yeah.
think that's something also we should address as well, so that we don't get stuck in a situation like that, whether they're doing it or not, and use this as our test case to figure that.
Just in general, anytime you replace more than one panel of the fence, we consider it a construction of a new fence. So if that's a direction also that.
A panel, but they didn't replace the nuts and bolts.
They basically replaced every panel.
So
Right.
it was already considered new construction, where we would require a building permit.
Yep, I get it. So if everything's,
The logic behind that ordinance is somebody could replace one panel every year.
Sure.
And eventually you got a brand new fence and it was a replacement.
I get it.
So,
But they never replaced the post, they never dug it out, they never poured new concrete, they never, and so.
well,
I'm just-
depending on what the building official finds, I mean, that could actually be a detriment because
Correct.
there was no post inspection or anything. I mean, we don't know what's there. I mean, it could be excellent or it might not be.
Correct.
And that's why it's almost more in support of you, Christine, to make sure that it's done right. Because if it's not, it's easier, it'd be a lot easier for us to deny it and then have your attorney contact them to force them to remove it so it's installed properly for you. So we're also, the pros and cons of that is looking out for your best interest if it's not done right.
Yeah.
And our engineer says that you're gonna regret this after all the money you spent on that beautiful fence. 3-5 years from now, you're gonna be miserable, kinda trying to protect you on that front too, so. If you guys are okay with that, the
Thank you
board's
with that.
okay with it, I think the next best step is to have Mike Coleman go out there, take a look at it, schedule, either meet one or both of yous out there, and just,
Mr. Mayor, if I could just ask
sir.
what your time frame would be for the next meeting, because I've got a trip coming up and I want to make sure I coordinate with that.
it's 14 days from now, it'd be the 17th.
Could we possibly bump it one more week or one more meeting?
It would be, what's the October?
October 1st.
I know that's adding additional delay for you guys, but unfortunately,
doesn't
I'm
matter
out of the
for-
country. So if we could
Does
bump it.
October 1st
The
work?
October one?
No, I'll be good for the October one.
October one would, if you could indulge us by putting it on that agenda, that would be fantastic.
You don't see any?
That should also allow plenty of time for the inspector to get
No,
out
it's
there
already
and schedule.
requested.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And then if there's any
Thank you for
other
that.
additional questions, you can contact our fence company. And so is the board okay with that if we just make it October 1st?
Yes.
Okay. So,
Great, thank you.
so we won't need any motions, just when we pass it tonight, she just puts it on the agenda on the 1st.
And you
There's
guys
no
just
action on
pass it
this.
for first reading?
Yes. Okay.
And are there any additional information or support documentation the board would be looking for from Ms. Kelly at all?
It's more Mike Coleman. When it comes to construction in Tinley Park, there's two people I trust. It's sitting in front of you to your left, John Urbanski, and Michael Coleman.
So if we reach out to him just to say, do you need anything from us, that'd be fine?
Jason could have them contact you.
Great.
And take a look at it and see what they say.
Great.
And then you guys could between them, you guys could set up a meeting, what works best for you. He can go out there and then anything he needs. Does that work? Okay,
Absolutely.
all right, thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Mayor.
you.
Thank you, trustees.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll see you in October, have a safe trip.
Thank you.
Can I, Madam Clerk, can you call the roll?
Roll call for item 14, trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
Motion carries, thank you. So now, what we have, item 15. Trustee Shaw?
Sure. I'd like to make a motion to consider ordinance 2024-0-044, granting variations to reduce the minimum required usable floor area and minimum front yard setback for a property located at 17811 Ridgeland Avenue.
there a second?
I'll second the motion.
Go ahead, Ken.
Thank you. The variations are to permit a new detached single-family home constructed with 1,931 square feet of usable floor area and a 25-foot setback at 17811 Ridgeland Avenue in the R1 Single Family Residential Zoning District. The Plan Commission held a public hearing on August 15, 2024, and voted 6-1 to recommend approval of the variation requests in accordance with the plans and findings of fact in the staff report. This ordinance is eligible for first reading.
Thank you. Are there any questions from the board? I'm sorry, are you the petitioner? Yes. Are there any questions?
This one was pretty straightforward for me. Can we skip first read and vote on it tonight, or do we have to
I
go through
believe
It
first?
was 6-1.
It has to be, because it has to be unanimous.
It wasn't unanimous?
Okay.
Or, yeah.
That's correct.
Any other questions? Nope. Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Roll call for item 15, trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
That motion carries. Thank you. Next, second final reading will be on September 17th. At 6 PM.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks.
I'll send you an email.
Item 16 was supposed to be on the 17th. Can I have a motion to table item 16 till next meeting, September 17th?
I'll move to table that to the 17th.
I'll second.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
The motion carries. Thank you, everyone. Next, we have item 17, receive comments from staff. Are there any comments from staff? Nope. Item 18, any comments from the board?
Hi, Mr. Mayor.
Yes, sir.
The items number 3 and 4 on our agenda this evening concerned childhood cancer and ovarian cancer. On Saturday, there'll be a rally before our music comes on, Kaleidoscope on Saturday at Zwaraki Plaza for breast cancer awareness. I was asked to kind of MC the rally that will be there from 6 o'clock till 6:45 before we bring up the band and introduce them. So if anybody is out that Saturday and want to join us for this rally for Be Aware of Breast Cancer, please do join us at 6 o'clock at Zwaraki Plaza.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Sure. I just wanted to highlight an item that, in the interest of an efficient meeting, was on the agenda, the consent agenda. I just wanted to pull it up, 13A, proclaiming September 17th, Constitution Week. I think the Constitution of the United States is pretty important, and I just wanted to emphasize that we approved that as Constitution Week.
Thank you.
Couple other points. We had 2 items today that had to do with ordinances. And I think as we've discussed in the past, there's been a lot of progress made in tightening up our ordinances, rationalizing them. Even in the staff report for item 14 today, it mentioned about how we've made administrative changes to the setback requirements for fences, and it has reduced the number of variance requests that we've had. And I think that's admirable. It's a very positive step. I think we have a lot of work left to do. Mayor Glatz alluded to one possible option that we had discussed many years ago on the Plan Commission about establishing certain districts or overlaying them with existing districts that although it adds a layer of complexity on there, I think it would help the staff and minimize what's coming to the board. So some areas of the community have very new construction, and by new I say within the last 30 years. And applying our current zoning rules on fencing should be pretty straightforward. I mean, that should be pretty simple. You get into older parts of the neighborhood where they were built in a more of an ad hoc fashion, or just simply they're 70, 80 years old, it gets a little tougher. And so I think there's some opportunity there for us to revisit that and do some work on it. And as well, for just the process itself, I think we should be taking a look at it. And I think that's about all I have for this evening. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Yeah, I got something. I just want to invite everyone out to the walk to end Alzheimer's is happening here in Tinley Park on Saturday, October 5th, 2024, at the 80th Avenue train station. Festivities begin at 8:30. They do a little opening ceremony, and the walk immediately follows at 10 a.m. So with Tinley Park being our being a dementia-friendly community, I just wanted to make sure everyone was aware of the date, and hope to see you all out there.
Thank you, Mr. Brennan. Anyone else? Are you checking if Mike's gonna be able to walk? He'd rather run.
I do like to run.
He'd rather just run. He could run around you twice. I want to thank our staff for all the work they do. All these events, I mean, it's nonstop with our public works, our marketing, our police, our fire, our EMA, our whole unified command. The amount of time and effort they put into keeping our community safe and allowing us to have all these events. We've had a great year so far. So thank you to all the departments that are part of that. And want to thank our HR department, Angela, all these hires that, when we hire people, everyone just thinks it's easy to hire. There's a lot of work that goes into it, from screening to phone calls. So I want to thank our HR too for all the work they put into to hiring employees for the village. Anything else? Clerk? Okay. Next we have item number 20. I would like to ask the board for a motion to adjourn to executive session to discuss the following. A, the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees of the public body or legal counsel for the public body, including hearing testimony on a complaint lodged against an employee of the public body or against legal counsel for the public body to determine its validity. B, collective negotiating matters between the public body and its employees or their representatives, or deliberations concerning salary schedules for one or more classes of employees. And lastly, C, litigation when an action against, affecting, or on behalf of particular public body has been filed and is pending before a court or administrative tribunal, or when the public body finds that an action is probable or imminent, in which case the basis for the finding shall be recorded and entered into the minutes of the closed meeting. Can I have that motion?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Roll call for item 20, trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
Thank you. We are adjourned into executive session, and we will not be coming back. Thank you, everyone. Would anyone for item 19 like to make public comment? Let the record reflect there are none. There is no one waiting in the vestibule to make public comment. Can I have a motion to adjourn the regular scheduled meeting?
I'll make the motion.
Second. Thank you. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
Thank you. We are adjourned.